This is me after watching The Dark Knight.
Wow.
Obviously, this is peak cinema. And while Christopher Nolan is well recognized as one of the modern GOATs when it comes to filmmaking. And that's why in today's video, I'll be recreating my top 5 favorite Christopher Nolan films out of Lego. So without further ado, Lego. Now right off the bat, coming in at number 5, I decided to recreate The Dark Knight Rises. Now, I know at the time when the movie came out, not many people liked it as much as the other ones, but it has some iconic scenes, and the scene I'll be trying to recreate is the iconic football scene. So the main things I wanted to accomplish here is to get an accurate minifigure that's in football gear, since Lego hasn't made many football minifigures before, and also to create a football field that looks like it's obviously getting blown up. So I got building, and this is what the end product ended up looking like. I incorporated the yellow for the end zone and a little bit of green just to show the football field off, but then most of the rest of the build ended up being pretty brown. Some things that really helped this build pop, in my opinion, was having these small little clear curved pieces that made all the brown slanted bricks look like they're in the air in all which ways, which looks really cool in my opinion. Probably my favorite part of the build. And then I also made it pretty deep to show the danger of the guy if he doesn't keep up pace with the ground falling from under him. And then here is the football minifigure. I think it turned out okay. I didn't incorporate any yellow part of his jersey because I didn't have an accurate one, so I thought this would do the trick. And yeah, it's not the biggest build in the world, but I really like how this one turned out. Now that this Dark Knight Rises build is done, stay tuned till the end because it's not the only Dark Knight movie that will be featured on this video, and let's just say the final build is massive, so stay tuned for that. Time to move into the 4th spot. And coming in at number 4, we have Oppenheimer. Now, in the past, I have made Oppenheimer before when I made Barbenheimer out of Lego, so I'll kind of be recreating that build, but modifying it just a little bit. The scene I'll be recreating, of course, is when they tested out the atomic bomb for the first time, since that was a pretty fun one to make the first time around. With all the building done, this is how it turned out. Now it is a pretty tall build because I use a lot of pillar pieces and crane pieces to create the big effect, but I think that's the best way to do this build. I of course also made the atomic bomb, as you can see here. It's a pretty simple build, nothing too special. And then here is of course Oppenheimer. I didn't change it up from the last time since I thought this one also worked really well. It's actually mostly minifigure pieces from the modern Indiana Jones minifigure, but it looks really good in my opinion. And then the stuff I changed up this time around was I added all these gates around the build because I thought it made it look like more gated off, more like a dangerous area that you don't want to be in. And then I also used this like raised plate to set the entire tower on. And yeah, I really like how this one turned out. It has good depth because it's really tall, and overall solid build. Now moving into the 3 spot, we got Inception. The scene I wanted to recreate, which was a little ambitious to do, was when all the buildings are starting to like curve over and go every which way. I wanted to do this because I thought it'd be a fun challenge, but I also think it's one of the coolest scenes in the movie. So I got building, and this is the result that came out. Here it is. I'm pretty happy with how this one also turned out. Now, it definitely took me the longest one to figure out how I was going to design this build, since I had to have buildings shifting and moving every which way. So the way I decided to accomplish this was by having 2 buildings that are just on each side, standardized buildings that aren't moving. Then I put these 2 skinnier ones on the side, and originally I thought maybe I would have them lean forward, but eventually I decided against that because I didn't think that looked the greatest, so I made them tilt towards the side so then the final building could curve over. And I added hinge pieces on 2 layers of that building so that it could curve over the rest, almost like it's becoming the roof on top of the other buildings. And overall, I like the effect that was made because of that. I also added this ramp, which is actually supposed to be the road curving with the building, which I don't know if that fully is clear when the build is complete, but that was my intention, so that is there. And then of course here is Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Pretty easy one to make. I just gave him like a suit with a little blaster. I think this one also turned out pretty good in my opinion, and out of all the builds so far, this was definitely the hardest one to do. But on to number 2, which is Interstellar. Interstellar is such a good movie. It's actually in my all-time top 4 movies on Letterboxd. And the scene I'll be recreating is the one with the songs Mountains playing, and they're trapped on the snow planet with Matt Damon as well.
Yes?
Hi, does an Arthur Reed live here?
You're Matt Damon!
And it's also the cover of the movie. So yeah, I got building, and this is how it turned out. I'm very happy with how this one came out. I think it is the most accurate to the source material so far. And it's basically just a plate or modified plate with a whole bunch of slopes on it to try to make the mountainy feel. I of course added a little bit of water there because I thought that added some color to the build. And I couldn't forget the robot that's also in this movie. I forget its name, so guys, you can comment it below if you know what I'm talking about. But he turned out really accurate. It's honestly a pretty easy build. It's just a few Technic bricks with Technic pins, and yeah, that's all it is to it. And then of course Matthew McConaughey's character here turned out really good as well. I really like how this one turned out. Looks like an astronaut outfit to me, and I like it. Out of all the small builds, this was definitely my favorite, but it's time to move on to the #1 movie in Christopher Nolan's filmography, and that is The Dark Knight.
Kill the Batman.
And well, this might be cheating a little bit, but it is the Dark Knight tumbler. Ta-da! Just kidding. Not that one. But this one. Yes, the UCS tumbler, guys. I know. A pretty cool set in my opinion. One of my favorites. And it is massive. I think with over 2,000 pieces or close to it, this set is a behemoth. It has a whole bunch of cool features with that cool engine in the back. And the tires are just massive on this thing. Now, guys, don't comment about the dust. I know. It's been sitting on my dresser for probably a year. It needs to be dusted. But besides that, I really love this set. And what I love even more than that is the minifigures included. Of course, we get Christian Bale's Batman here, which also looks really good. I do wish there would be some arm printing on this one, but overall it's pretty good. And then, of course, we have Heath Ledger Joker. Literally my dream minifigure as a kid was to get this minifigure, at least in the original one when it first came out. And now that I have this one, I actually like it even more because it has the vest with the arm printing, which looks just fantastic. Definitely the best minifigures in my collection, or at least in my top 5. But now that we have all the builds lined up here, you guys can tell me in the comments below which one was your favorite from the Christopher Nolan movies, because I don't know, obviously the Dark Knight one's pretty good, but Interstellar might be taking the cake for me. You guys can comment below like I said, but again, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, as always, have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye. Jeepers. Oh, gotta clear my throat. Jeez. Oh, nah. Oh, no, my mic was turned down that whole time. That's gonna be fun to edit. A little pew-pew. Oh, jeez. What is with my throat today? Pause.